I'd like to call this meeting to order. This is the regular meeting of the Village of Leonard's Village Council. Today is February 8th, 2016. I want to welcome everybody. Thank you for taking the time to attend. We're halfway through winter, or just about, so let's keep going. Okay, I'd like to ask everyone to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for a brief invocation. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Heavenly Father, we ask that you be with us in this meeting, guide the decisions that we make, and may they be in the best interest of this village. In your name we pray, amen.
Amen. Thank you. Could we have a roll call for attendance of the Village Council?
President McDonald?
Here.
Mrs. Sotheby?
Here.
Mr. Almoranti? Mr. Hoffman?
Here.
Mr. Noaker?
Here.
Note for the record that both Clerk Cindy Grosskopf and Treasurer Judy Burse are present, and Mr. Almoranti notified me that he would not be able to attend this evening. Minutes of the January 11th, 2015 meeting. Council's received them. Are there any questions, changes, or corrections?
Only one correction that I saw, and it probably is my error, and the government channel is 191, not 199. I probably said 191. It is 191.
191, okay. Are there any other changes or corrections? If none, a motion to approve the minutes as amended would be in order.
I so move.
I'll second.
Any questions on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor of the approval of the minutes as amended, please say aye. Opposed, please say no. Moving on to the agenda. Council has before it proposed agenda. Are there any additions, deletions, changes? If none, a motion to approve the agenda would be in order.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as presented. I'll second.
There any,
There's no minutes in here, just, are we missing them?
uh,
Here's an extra copy.
None of them
yeah.
happened in here.
Here's another one. Thank you, Cindy. Okay. Okay, we need all in favor of the motion to approve the agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, please say no. Moving on to the treasurer's report. Council received the report in their packet. Are there any questions, changes, or corrections? If none, a motion to approve and receive and file the report would be in order.
I'll make a motion that we receive and file the treasurer's report.
I'll support that.
Mr. Noaker? Any questions on the motion? Hearing none. Can we have a roll call, please?
President McDonald?
Yes.
Mr. Noaker?
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman?
Yes.
Mrs. Sotheby?
Yes.
Moving on to the accounts payable. Council has received about the accounts payable sheet for the month of January. Are there any questions, changes, corrections on that? If none, a motion to pay the bills in the amounts indicated would be in order.
I'll make a motion to pay the general fund $8,360.42 out of major $1,481.20 and out of the local $320.63 and the Parks and Recs $3,428 even.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Are there any questions on the motion to pay the bills? Hearing none, could we have a roll call for paying the bills for January?
Mrs. Sotheby?
Yes.
Mr. Noaker?
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman?
Yes.
President McDonald?
Yes. Moving on. The next item on our agenda is to receive public comment. If you're here and would like to speak to the village council on any topic related to the village or the government of the village, we'd be glad to hear from you. We ask that you be brief and to the point, and be aware that if you are here to speak on one of the items on our agenda, that you will have an opportunity at the time that that item is discussed by the council. Would anybody care to address the council this evening? Yes, Cindy?
Okay. Number one, what's going on with the house down the street from me?
It's
Have you heard from him? Let's put it that way.
not since the dumpster was removed.
Okay.
And honestly, there's not much I can
I
do
know.
with the weather, and I know it's gonna be,
I thought you were gonna say because he had a year, not because of the
no,
weather.
no. I'm not letting it sit a year.
I would hope not,
No.
because it's already sat for
No. I,
lots of years.
I've already talked with the attorney, and he agrees with me that we're gonna start issuing municipal civil violation tickets to him. But there's not, right now, what's he going to do? I mean, he might be able to, some of the stuff might come up on a warm day. What I'm hoping is that, what?
You don't think he can get a lot of that stuff up already?
Well, the wood and that, I'm not sure. I mean, it could or it couldn't be, Cindy, but it would probably take equipment to do it. And I'm hoping that in the spring, he won't have any excuses,
Oh, yeah, me too.
so.
Okay, and the second one, did you ever talk to the attorney yet or get an answer from him?
On the right of way,
Yes.
it's still under,
Okay, this is what's taking place because this is
Okay.
craziness
Okay.
now. It's taking way too long. We're blocking it off
okay,
until we get an answer one way or the other.
okay,
And I don't expect it to be ripped down again. No
Okay.
survey stakes better be pulled out because this time a
Okay.
lawyer will be brought in.
okay.
Okay. And that's it.
Would anybody else care to comment? If not, we'll move on to the, oh, I'm sorry, Janet, I didn't,
As I talked to you before, I have a water issue. That curbing they put in front of my house
right,
is a nuisance. I'd like somebody to take a sledgehammer out there and take it out. It runs down, the water when it rains runs down Rochester Road, goes down my driveway, ends up at my front door. I'm not, there's a catch basin or something at the Rochester Road in the alley.
mhm.
Is there some way they could put something there at the top?
You mean like put a new line in underground and put a catch
Or
basin?
put something, a drain, something
make it
to catch that
Call a
water.
different route.
I have
Well,
a
yeah.
terrible mess.
I will, with the council's approval, I'll refer this to the village engineer to see what we can, what the most feasible way to address it is.
With the
I-
ice and everything, I'll bet you some things, I have about 4 inches of ice right at my,
Yeah.
right at my front door, 'cause that's where it ends up.
Okay. Very good. Okay, at this time, I'd like to ask the council for a motion to close the regular meeting and open the public hearing for our 2016-2017 budget.
I so moved.
Sheriff Sotheby and Mr. Hoffman. Are there any questions on the motion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, please say no. At this time, we'll receive public comment on the proposed village budget for 2016-2017. I do have some copies up here. I don't think I have enough for everybody. I have to pay you. There's one more here. This budget closely parallels the current budget, with the exception that we are undertaking some expenses in regards to the Elmwood Street Road project and the possible letting of a municipal bond to help pay for that project. Some of the priorities are, I'm hoping to be able to do some restoration work on Roland Hall to get the bricks repointed at the very least. That would have to be done regardless of any other changes that we might want to make as far as appearance goes or longevity. By way of explanation, some of the expenses, like for the building department, those expenses balance out because as permits are pulled, that money goes to the inspectors and to the village. No more, no less generally. And then categories like the mill, the nature park, those rely substantially on public donations. So there's not any changes in regards to, or any changes we would see would be due to donations or sometimes lack of donations, but it won't play a critical role. So at this time, would the public care to address the council? Sherry?
I'd like to petition the village council, regarding the nature park. We applied for a grant this year, and I'm pretty sure we did not get it. I didn't receive, verification, but, we wanted to establish a wildflower garden in the park, and, we were trying to get $800 in grant money, and I was hoping that the village council would consider, $400 of that towards the establishment of a wildflower garden in the village in Leonard Nature Park.
You're speaking in addition to what's already present.
I don't have a
Oh.
copy,
Oh, okay.
usually about $300.
Right, that's generally, I believe that's what it is this year. Yeah. Okay, council. Thank you. Anybody else have a comment? Okay, hearing none. A motion to close the public hearing would be in order.
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing on the regular meeting.
Thank you. Supported by Mr. Hoffman. Are there any questions on the motion? Hearing none. All in favor of the motion to close the public hearing for the 2016-17 budget and open the regular meeting at this time, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, please say no. Okay, we're back in the regular meeting and we're moving into new business. The first item on our agenda is a happy one, a good one. I'm not sure how you'd want to say it, but as most people here know, we've had the experience of having a Boy Scout approach the village a couple of years ago and start talking to us about his plans to become an Eagle Scout. And in support of that plan, he had to do a community service project, which he elected to do in our village. And his project was to build an observation deck in the village nature park. And I've mentioned this before, but it was when I saw his initial plans and his planning, I thought this is probably one of the most aggressive Boy Scout projects I've ever seen taken on, especially by a sole candidate. So it took some doing. He worked hard. He grew up a little bit, I think, in the He grew up a little bit in the process, and you were a pleasure to work with, Trevor. And I appreciate your family supported you, and your scout troop supported you, and the volunteers that you got. And you did a heck of a job. I'm really proud of you, and very grateful. So I'm proposing to the village council that we pass a resolution of appreciation, and with your approval, I will go ahead and read it. The Leonard Village Council does hereby declare and resolve, whereas the Village of Leonard wishes to recognize and express appreciation and thanks to Trevor Dean for his choice of the Leonard Nature Park as a site to perform his community service project for the Eagle Scout rank in the Boy Scouts of America. And whereas the Village of Leonard wishes to congratulate Trevor Dean for the successful completion of the observation deck project, which he designed and constructed by managing fundraising activities and organizing volunteers to assist in the actual construction of the observation deck in the Leonard Nature Park. And whereas the Village of Leonard wishes to accept with gratitude the observation deck and recognize this accomplishment for the residents of the village as well as the public. Therefore, be it resolved, the Village Council for the Village of Leonard hereby recognizes and congratulates Trevor Dean for his service to the Village of Leonard and recognize him for his service in volunteering to construct the observation deck in the Village of Leonard Nature Park, and hereby congratulates him in recognition of his accomplishment of successfully completing the observation deck for his Eagle Scout community project, and express a sincere thank you for a job well done, and express the appreciation of all those park visitors who will benefit from the project now and into the future. So Trevor, with that,
Thank you.
It's a great deck, too.
Is your name on it?
He's gonna be putting a plaque on it
okay, that'd be
with
fun.
all of the donors.
That'll be great.
Standard like one of his big donors.
Right, right. And that's a good point. Trevor's mom brings up that it wasn't just volunteers. We had donors that donated material, money, etc. So we want to make sure we recognize that as well. Takes a village.
The plaque should be in there in the spring.
Great, great. Okay, so does you need a motion to approve the resolution?
I make that motion.
Thank you. Supported by Mr. Huffman. All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, please say no. Okay, very good. It's official. At this time, I'm going to take a pause. If anybody, you're welcome to remain, but if you'd like to exit, this would be an opportune moment. But you can still exit anytime you like. Okay. The next item is a more an administrative item for our current budget, and I'm going to ask our village treasurer, Judy Verse, to explain what we're going to do here. This is for the Park and Rec category.
It's part of your budget tab. It's the very last sheet. There's a 15-16 budget on there as well as the 16-17. We need to adopt the 15-16 budget because there wasn't one prepared for it. I wasn't aware we needed to do it. And when I talked to the auditor, he said even though it's donation money, basically, that the budget should be established based on what we think we're going to get donation-wise. So that, the 15-16 is kind of actual. There wasn't too much guesswork in that, but we need to adopt that for 15-16. Any questions?
Hearing none, does anybody have a question? If not, I'm going to ask for a motion to authorize the creation of the subject categories in the 2015-2016 budget, and those will carry over into future budgets as well.
I'll make a motion to accept the budget proposed budget for the mill, the accounts.
Well, this is for Park and Recreation Park and Rec categories, right, for 2015-16.
Right.
Okay,
I'll second that.
thank you. Any questions on the motion? Hearing none, can we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Hoffman? Mrs. Sotheby?
Yes.
President McDonald?
Yes,
Mr. Noaker?
Yes.
very good. Okay, moving on. We're going to look at the village budget for 2016-2017. The village budget fiscal year runs from March 1st through the end of February, which this year, how many days are it? 28? 29, so we get one extra day this year. This budget that's being proposed, as I indicated during the public hearing, is virtually a mirror image of the current budgets, with the exceptions that I noted at that time, which take into account some expenditures for some engineering work as well as for some bond work for the municipal bond that we hope to let in order to fund part of the project. So, council, what are your wishes on this matter? Any questions from the village council?
I make a motion that we approve the 2016-2017 budget for the village of Leonard.
To include truth and taxation.
And we need to include the truth in taxation. We're establishing the village millage rate at the current rate, which is 7 mills. And we are from the equalization perspective, we're at the proper numbers, which is 1. There's no changes in the levels. The value of the village, as determined by the Equalization Division of Oakland County, is $13,303,230, and the taxable value is $10,900,000.
10 million.
10 million, I'm sorry. Everything's moving around. 13,303,230, and I'm supposed to. And the actual taxable value, which includes all the vacant land, all the land and all the structures on it, is 10,900,250. You know, as I was saying that, it didn't sound right, but I couldn't make the right words come out. Anyway, okay. So do you need any more than that?
I need support. Larry support my budget.
Okay. Okay, so Shar made the motion. Who supported?
Larry.
Larry? If there are no further questions, are there any questions?
Are we gonna move money around for the park?
Doesn't want to put 400 in there for the park? Was that considered?
Was that,
That
Did-
includes the truth in taxation.
Right,
Okay.
but the money that Sherry wanted for the park.
Sherry asked about extra money.
$400.
Extra money for the, we can amend the budget later.
Okay,
If-
because we didn't discuss it. right?
No.
I'm assuming we can only approve what's here,
Well, no, we could change it. We could change it, but
but then we'd have to move it from
we'd have to
someplace else.
take it from someplace else and put it there. So we can still accommodate it, I think, later. Some of it anyways. I'm not going to say all of it, but we can try. I'd have some explaining to do with Kay for the decorating committee. Right. Okay, so we have a motion and a support. There are no other questions, comments. We'll have a roll call for the approval of the village budget for 2016-17.
President McDonald,
Yes.
Mrs. Sotheby,
Yes.
Mr. Neuicker,
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman.
Yes.
And just so that everybody knows, the council knows, but since last year, and it was suggested by Trustee Doug Neuicker several years ago, that we start making planning further out. So Judy, Cindy, and I and the council have been working with the 3 years. So even though we adopted a budget for this year, we have projected it for 2 additional years to try and make sure that we know which way we're headed and what our future expenses and liabilities might be. So I think it's become a much more comfortable process for all of us knowing that and being able to look at what we're spending and what we're projecting to spend. So it was all actually kind of included. I mean, every community does that, but to actually put it on paper and then talk about it and have it available, that was the the big hurdle for us. So I think it's working out well. Would you say so, Doug, or? Yeah. Okay, moving on to the item number 4, which is the 2016 Michigan Department of Natural Resources Trust Fund application. The Park and Rec Committee recommended that we make another attempt to solicit a grant from the trust fund for use on the Leonard Mill. So in order to do that, to make application, we will have, the application is due in April. We will have to have a public hearing in March at our regular meeting to hear comment on the plan. And when the plan's available, we will advertise and get it in the paper, and then the public will have an opportunity to stop at the village and review it when it's up for review. But I would ask the council at this time to set a public hearing for the trust fund grant application for our March regular meeting.
You need a date?
Well, it would be,
A regular meeting.
yeah, which is March 14th. At our regular meeting would be suffice. Is there a motion to that
I'll make
effect?
that motion.
I'll second it.
Are there any questions on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, please say no. Okay, thank you. At this time, with the close of our fiscal year, it also means that we set our meeting dates for all of the meetings and committees and commissions that the village is involved in, of which there are several. We have the Village Council, the Planning Commission, the Decorating Committee, the Park and Rec Committee, and the Festival Committee.
We don't
The
approve
Cape-
the rest.
Well, we don't approve them, but they're there for information.
Right, for information only.
Yeah. And the Pollyant Trail and the Cable Commission. So the little copies will be available if you need them. We'll need a motion to set those dates as provided.
I make that motion. That we set those dates. Let's go back.
I'll support that.
Are there any questions on the motion?
Is there, those dates and all those forms available on the website?
No, they could be. Right?
Could
They
be.
usually are
Okay.
there, but I think they need to be updated.
Yeah. Good point.
That's where I get my resources.
Judy,
Sorry?
did Kay bring these over?
Well, told me when they were.
All right.
So the answer to your question is yes, they
Yes.
will be. Okay.
So since we're talking about the website, there's one, when it comes up, there's one, the very last clickable box is off screen. It's like half gone.
Oh, really?
So the webpage needs to be tightened, because there's a box
Okay.
missing.
I'll have to figure out how to do that. Okay. But thank you. Okay. Okay. You know, we use Wix.com because it's supposed to be easy to use. I mean, it must be because I was able to kind of do it, but it's doing things like that, you know, making it look nice and that, I just don't.
You probably
Anyway,
just need to abbreviate one of the boxes to the left and then that'll.
you can't make this thing bigger. Okay.
If you were a template, it might be hard.
Okay. All right. Okay, so we have a motion and support for the meeting dates. All in favor of the dates, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, please say no. Thank you. Okay. council, we received our dues and legal defense fund invoice for our belonging to the Michigan Municipal League. We've been longtime members. The balance this year will be $354. So I would ask for a motion to authorize payment for that and to continue our membership with the league.
I'll make a motion to authorize the Michigan Municipal League membership renewal at the cost of $354.
Thank you. Mr. Hoffman supported the motion. Are there any questions? Like, what is the Michigan Municipal League? It's a good resource for communities. It has a lot of resources from other communities. You know, they gather information and ordinances, and they also, the Legal Defense Fund, of which we're also members, will sometimes join a community if there's a problem that they see as being larger than in a single community, like it could set precedent or something. So it's a really good resource for us, for the officials, basically. Okay, so could I have a roll call vote then, please?
President McDonald?
Yes.
Mrs. Sotheby?
Yes.
Mr. Noaker?
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman?
Okay. Number 7 is a right-of-way permit. I just don't need authorization for this, but I just wanted to bring it up, and there should be some leaflets. I think we have some up here. The Road Commission informed me a couple weeks ago that they're going to be closing Rochester Road here at Elmwood, and they're going to be constructing road construction from Gerst Road to Boardman Road. Part of that closure, and one of the concerns that I brought up at a meeting that Bruce Pearson, Township Supervisor, and I attended was what about the people that live, you know, north of Elmwood and on that stretch? And the Road Commission has committed to keeping the road open to local traffic, so there's no reason anybody should have trouble getting to their home or getting from their home. In addition to that, on Strawberry Festival Day, and I know Shar remembers this well, it looks like they'll be doing that work, so they will change the detour for that one day, for that Saturday, as Elmwood will be closed, and they'll be using Frick Road to either Hagerman or Secord Lake Road, or they'll have to go to Hagerman.
It says it on the letter. We were mailed one.
Came in our mail today too.
Yeah.
It doesn't say that one day though.
No, it just says the main detour.
Yeah, it's just got the
They are going to have an alternate detour for Strawberry Festival, and it is not on here. But anyway, I'm glad that everybody got one at least, and there are some copies up here in case anybody needs one. But I just wanted to make council aware of that. And they will be adding extra. They're going to put at the village's request, they're going to put a road closed sign at Beza Street and Rochester Road, so that traffic will not have a through route.
I was just gonna ask for another chloride.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah, well, please let us know if for any reason there is a problem or the dust does get bad, because it likely will see some people going up through there, right? So.
Can we also put a request into Oakland County Sheriff to put the speed limit thing down here for the cars coming?
Oh,
Because
yeah, we can certainly do
it
that.
gets really bad.
Okay. Yeah, I'm worried. I brought up at the meeting that Elmwood Street is so bad. The detour 2 years ago, 2 years, 2 or 3 years ago, really tore Elmwood Street up. That, you know, the east side. So hopefully we'll be able to get that taken care of next year.
Who fixed the paving companies? Because
This is a state of Michigan low bid, and we got the
so
lowest.
it's gonna be another crummy job.
It's well.
It's not gonna hold up.
The state only gives you so much money, and you have to make do. So instead of being able to take out all the asphalt and go right down to the road base, you can't, because it's too expensive. So we only can take a few inches off, and you're right, you're absolutely right. And that's why the village has got,
Waste some money.
well, we've gotten aggressive about doing crack sealing, because that makes a huge difference, but it's time consuming and expensive, and it takes a lot of man hours. And we've been trying for 2 years, and we still haven't got the complete road crack sealed. But if we can get on that and that'll help extend the life of the roads. So, okay, with that said, community health online resource. We received notification and a request from the county community mental health authority to make everyone aware that they've introduced a new program called My Strength, and it's online and it's also on phone. So I guess if you sign up for it and or know someone that needs it, the village will have the information here, and you'll know what's out there. I believe March is Mental Health Month too, I think, but that'll probably come up next March in our next meeting. Okay. Moving on, the village received the annual quote from road maintenance for the chloride. The application is 8 cents per foot per application upon request, and it would include the alleys and road shoulders that we do chloride, which is the same as it has been since 2015. So I'd ask the council for approval to authorize the village to use that vendor for our dust control. That would be road maintenance right here outside of town. By motion, preferably.
Motion, we accept it as last year, same price.
I'll second.
Any questions on the motion? Hearing none, we'll have a roll call, please.
President McDonald,
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman,
Yes.
Mrs. Sotheby,
Yes.
Mr. Noaker,
Yes.
Okay, DPW, old business, we don't have any that I'm aware of. And moving on to DPW, I asked Don the other day, I said, Don, what's going on? And he's just smiled and he said, weather's been great, truck's working, new tractor, he loves the new tractor. We've got salt, sand, so other than drainage problems for some of our residents, which we'll work on, things are pretty good. Knock on wood.
Have you heard about the lady down the street that had that drainage problem? Where the water was coming across and down the dooryard?
I have not heard
Her whole
anything.
yard's flooded right now.
Right,
But
the whole yard's
But
underwater.
that's an annual, I mean, I'm not saying it's right or that I'm trying to
We're not
justify
on the
it,
right
but
side of the street.
it was always low and always wet. And it would be wetter if they hadn't built it up, you know, people that are built there, so.
Any chances of ever getting that drain cleaned?
Well, I was actually hoping that she'd have some success talking to the Drain Commission, Water Resources Commission, because the
She probably is pounding the pavement on that.
the Water Resources Commission is clinging to its old ways that they can spend $5,000 a year and that just doesn't do much. So they would like to create a special assessment district to do that kind of work, which means more expense for the adjacent property owners and potentially higher bills. So, okay, moving on then. For my report, we did have one Freedom of Information Act request, which has been dealt with. I have received no new applications for block grant assistance this month. In ordinance enforcement, the only item still open is 104 Beza Street. I'd like to inform the public that we did have some sheets up here and maybe down there on the siren activation for 2016. It's kind of handy to have. Sometimes it goes off and you wonder, is this real or is it whatever? So if you don't have one or you need one, if you don't have one, we'll have them here at the office,
I posted outside.
and it'll be posted on the notice board. Also, the village is involved in the Christmas in Action for Oakland County, where we support the organization. It helps some of our residents, seniors that have meet the economic requirements, can get free home repairs and fix-ups. We've actually had 2 homes in the village that have been done in the going on 5 years that it's been in existence. But they're having a euchre tournament. This will be their fifth one to to raise funds to do that work. The details are, it'll be February 19th, 2016, and it's $25 per person, and $10 of that goes towards the prize money, and the rest is, it comes with dinner and then the tournament. So if you're interested and you like to play cards and you got a Friday night at the Knights of Columbus on Orion Road in Lake Orion. It's not too far.
Down by Stony Creek.
I've been there every year. I haven't been able to play because I work it, but it looks like everybody has a good time and the food's really good. Usually has been pretty good. So we have, the dinner's at 6 and the tournament starts at 7. You can see me or there's an email here as well, but I put a flyer on Facebook in case anybody. I'm not trying to drum up business.
You want me to post that outside?
Pardon?
You want me to post that outside?
Sure, yeah. If we have room. Okay, and then, let's see, county siren tests. I think that got everything for me. Okay, so moving on to the trustee reports. Summer Festival Committee.
We had a meeting this month, and we put in our application for the Oakland County, the free stuff from Oakland County.
Oh, good.
We've already been accepted.
Cool.
And we're gonna probably end up with 6, possibly 7 things from the county, which is really, really good. The girl that's in charge of doing all that this year is, she's got a lot of the contracts already back, so.
Great.
Really good.
Sounds good. Cable Commission. Char?
We did not have a meeting last night.
Okay. I think the representatives are at the Addison Township meeting this evening. Okay.
Is Comcast in the village too?
No.
You know,
Just Charter.
when they told me that, I said, wow, that's kind of unusual.
Well, I think what I'm reading is there's a possibility of this giant merger between Charter and Comcast, I believe.
No, it's Time Warner.
Is it Time Warner?
Time Warner, yeah.
Okay.
That is.
It is. I knew there was 2 that were pending.
Right,
That's going to
right.
be.
Yeah, the only reason I know that is I was contacted by a representative from Charter. They want to meet with the village and the township to discuss that, what is going to happen. So we have.
Comcast is Lake Orion, isn't it?
Yeah, Comcast is around the village. I think.
And Island too.
Yeah.
Are they thinking about bringing that out here too?
They won't usually.
No,
work
I don't.
side by side.
Not normally. Yeah, not normally. Now the perimeter. I think there are some homes in Addison that do have Comcast because they're within the.
There are some in Oxford that do too.
Yeah, that have, but it's further south. I think it's down on the Oakland Township border. Okay. Decorating Committee.
Not till April.
Not till April? Okay. Planning Commission.
Do we have enough update? I know you want me to do the thing you emailed me about the map.
Right.
Do you think it's necessary to have a meeting just to do that, or should we wait till we have more of the updating done on there so I can bring all of it back?
Well, I would love to have more time, but I keep putting it, if I keep pushing it back, I don't want to, if it's just the map, that can be kind of tedious, looking at the map and all that. It's up to you, Phyllis, as the chair. If you'd rather wait, I don't have a problem with it. If you don't,
I mean, I would rather just, instead of just doing the map, I would
Okay.
rather just have at least
Yeah.
half of the master plan to show them and go over.
Okay.
And
Well-
then I still have to get in touch, I still have to
Yeah.
contact.
okay, okay.
She didn't
Yeah.
know about that till just now.
It's huge what you've been doing
Yeah.
to help to the planning commission, but especially the expertise that you all bring to it, especially you, Leslie. I mean, that you've done a wonderful job.
It shouldn't take that long
Yeah.
to fix the maps.
Well, the village council will take advantage of you and ask for your assistance wherever possible. And it does help familiarize the commission too with the documents and the language and everything. In the past, and I've been through this several times, you hire a planner to do the plan, and they present you with the plan, and yeah, you've had some input, but you haven't really gotten your teeth into it, So this is definitely an educational experience for all of us, doing it this way. So
now, we're not going to, update I just lost my train of thought, the beginning of it. Where the maps are, what pages they're on and everything.
Yeah,
We're gonna do that right at the end, right?
I think that would be the easiest thing to do once
Yeah.
we've got the organization of the thing. Yeah, and that's the other thing is that there are a couple maps we still have to get, and I've been working on that myself. But
Okay.
that,
From the county, or-
well, yeah, I'm trying to get the county to do it, but they've kind of they used to help us do it. Like with the zoning map,
Right.
and they don't want to do it anymore. So they'll sell us the maps that are already created, but anyway. So
Because the maps in our master plan right now were done by McKenna.
yeah,
No,
no, and I won't make a comment. I prefer it that way. Okay. So no meeting then. I can't promise that we'll have half
I
of
don't
it.
want to rush you,
Yeah.
I mean, this is a process.
Yeah.
And the only other thing that, Debbie had wrote up a whole thing about, we have to notify all the other communities
Right.
and everything that this is going on, so this is gonna be a long process.
Right. We have to have our own public hearing. We have to have the county planning commission has to review it. Yeah, so there are a lot of statutory steps,
Right.
which frankly, we're still a couple steps away from that.
Oh,
I think, I hate to rush now too much, just to
Right.
get it done for the sake of getting it
I
done.
want it to be good, we all
Yeah.
want it to be good,
Yeah.
so we don't want to rush.
Right. Okay, so I'm gonna say then probably not a meeting this month, and then we'll shoot for March.
Yeah, and even if we have half of it to look at
Right.
next month, and then we do the map next month.
we did start the maps wherever you get the stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's like 7 or something. Yeah,
So,
there's 7 of them or something.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, there's at least 5, but a couple of them are done already, so. And there's maybe some additions, we could add some statistical stuff that came with the land use maps, if you want, just
Anything you want,
take a look at
just-
it. Well,
Once it's digital, it'll be easier
Yeah.
to update.
okay.
And I'll just scan it in and make adjustments.
Wow. I'm jealous. Okay, so is there a motion then to cancel the planning commission meeting for February?
I'll make a motion to cancel February's meeting for the planning commission.
Second.
Mr. Hoffman, are there any questions on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, please say no. Pollyant Trail Management Council, We had no meeting in January due to the lack of a quorum because the Michigan Township Association conference was that same week, and we just didn't have enough people to meet. So we'll be meeting this month on, February 3rd. It's the third Wednesday,
Looks like in April,
isn't it?
March.
March 16th is that?
It'd be the
It's not
17th,
February one.
February 17th at 3 p.m. at Oxford. Okay, Main Street, I don't think we have anything there, do we? Nothing. Village Park, we have a meeting this Wednesday. Yeah. You can explain to Sherry that we didn't do anything, Mike. We didn't give her money yet. Yet, use the word yet, okay? Okay, Community Development Block Grant, we got the report this month. And for North Oakland Transportation Authority, I have no update. You, Doug, anything new?
The only really thing about that is earlier in the fall, we ordered a vehicle. It came in,
Good,
so, and it is now striking on the road.
cool. Good to know. Okay, I have no further business. Does any council member? Hearing none? Right. All in favor? Opposed? Okay. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for attending.